Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another live stream. Here with Fly the Noob. Today we're going to be flying in X-Plane after a couple of days of streaming in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Let's jump back into X-Plane here and well, I've been taking a look at the aircraft, the new Citation X. So let's see how that goes. Welcome to the stream. Alrighty, hello there and welcome. So, in today's flight, we're going to be taking a look at the Citation X in X-Plane. So this is the Laminar default Citation X that you get in X-Plane 12, and that's the one that we're going to be taking a look at. Since we've been flying the Citation X by Flight Effects in MSFS over the past few days, I thought, you know what, now is a good time to take a look at this default aircraft, see how it compares to the flight effects in Microsoft Flight Sim. So that would be a very good comparison, a nice little exercise that we can do, as I mentioned earlier. So let's go ahead and take a look at this aircraft here in X-Plane 12. So right off the bat, for some reason, it's both better looking. At the same time, it has lower resolutions on the textures when compared to Microsoft Flight Sim, obviously. So if you zoom in, you can tell that some of these textures aren't the best in the world. But yeah, you know, when you zoom out, though, it just seems like the aircraft looks more realistic for some reason. Right? So it does look great from this angle. So in a way, it looks better in some shots. It looks worse in some shots than the flight effects over in Microsoft Flight Sim. But those are my first impressions of the exterior of this particular aircraft. Is really beautiful. It really is. Today we'll be flying from London to Paris, and I'm using the $0 payware here, London Heathrow. And I did have some trouble getting it to install and show up properly, but I finally have it showing up and it looks good. It looks good. So yeah, we're going to be heading on over to Paris. So EGLL over to LFPG is our route for today. Okay, that being said, let's jump on into the cockpit and see how things go from there. Okay. So off the bat, the cockpit looks really good. It does. For a default aircraft, it looks quite good, quite decent. Obviously, one of the first things we can notice is if we take a look at the seat textures, there's a world of difference between the texture on the seats. In the two simulators, the paid one in Microsoft Flight Sim is much better than the default one, but I don't really fly X-Plane for the textures. We fly X-Plane for the realism. So that's what we are more interested in and seeing how that goes today. But yeah, first impressions, it's not too terrible at all. I like the reflections. It looks great on the inside. It has an overall very good feel. And the one over in X-Plane has a more old school feel to it as well. Some of these indicators and buttons are a little more old school. They've got better sounds, some of them. So yeah, I believe even the engine sounds are actually better in the default Laminar one than the one in Microsoft Flight Sim by Flight Effects. So that's something interesting. But yeah, the interior, again, it isn't too terrible for a default X-Plane aircraft. The interior is pretty decent. I love the accents and finishes throughout the cabin. The textures are obviously not that very high resolution, but considering it's a default aircraft, it's not too terrible. Obviously, it could be better. It could still be better, but yeah, it's pretty decent. It's pretty good. The the cabin is not, obviously you can't interact with the cabin like you can with the Flight Effects one in Microsoft Flight Sim. But considering this is the default aircraft, this is good. I like it. I do quite like it, I must say. Anyway, coming on over here to the door here. Now we can open the door from the inside, so that's pretty cool. Just like you can with the other one in Microsoft Flight Sim. The sounds are good, not too terrible. Let's close them and have a look. Oh, doesn't close that easily. There you go, that's not too bad, is it? Not at all. Okay. There you go. We'll leave that open. And we'll get our aircraft started up here without further delay. Hello. Okay, just peer outside for a second. There we go. It's really nice. Yeah, looks good. Obviously, some resolution could have some upgrades there, but you know, it's not too terrible. I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. Okay, we're gonna leave the door open here. We're gonna jump back into the cockpit and get things started. So we're gonna be quite quick here with the startup. I don't want to spend too much time starting this thing up. It's fairly straightforward. So I'm going to start it up in my own way. Obviously, I'm not going to follow the official procedure or stuff like that. I'm just going to get us up and out of here as quick as possible. So let's go ahead and do that. Battery 1, battery 2. Emergency lights armed. Come on. There you go. Standby power on, please. Thank you very much. What else? We can turn our fuel boost to normal. We can select ignition normal. We can put all this down to normal. We can turn those to on. We can put our avionics up there as well. Let me just do this, something I like to do. Just go back up there. Ooh, frame rates there, huh? This particular, I mean, look, I am running this in 4K and stuff like that, so it doesn't exactly fare very well at 4K X-Plane. And on top of that, I got this pretty interesting and intensive scenery installed, so I'm not complaining too much about the frame rate, but yeah, it could be better. It could be better, I suppose, but yeah, okay, whatever. Moving on, just getting rid of that. I really don't like that. Let's get the APU started up. Let's go down here, master switch on there, APU start. There we go. I'm just gonna leave the bleed and the generator on as the APU boots up here. Should I go ahead and turn these on? I'm not so sure. The cabin pack and all of that stuff. You know what? We'll do that after we start up fully. We'll do that after we start up fully. Okay. There we go. We've got that going. Nav lights need to go on, recognition up. Let me put that on anti-collision in preparation for engine startup. I'll leave the auxiliary pump on there. We come down here, we don't have anything to do here. If we come down here, now that we're on APU, we can go ahead and get some stuff started up here since we're already on the APU power. Position initialization, load that GPS position right there, beautiful. Let's go to flight plan. EGLL destination is LFPG, which is Paris. Not in database. What on earth do you mean by that, sir? LFPG. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and input the rest of our flight plan in there, and that's going to be... What is it going to be? Okay. We're going to fly to Maxit. Maxit right here, and then we're gonna fly on over to mid via an airway here. Now I don't know whether airway is actually modeled in this, but it does seem to accept my input, so I'm just gonna do it as if they do work. Not entirely sure if they do work though. There you go. Now we're going to take UL 612 towards Bonya or Bogna. There you go. We're going to go direct to Hardy. Where is Hardy? There you go. Then we're going to take UM605 to Bibax. Oh, little mistake there. Bibax. Let's put that down there. Next page. And that's it. That should take us into LFPG. Now we gotta take LFPG and put that in there as well. If you don't do that one step, the rest of the FMC is not gonna cooperate with you when you try and input your flight plan. So make sure you do that correctly. Let's go to our departure here. We're gonna take off from runway 27 right using Maxi 1 Foxtrot right here, and we're gonna activate that. Sounds right there. Let's go to performance initialization. Let's go to, oh no, we don't need to do any of that. Initial cruising altitude. Today our cruising altitude is going to be at 25,000. Our transition altitude, I'm going to use 5,000 as my transition altitude. And initial cruising altitude, I'm going to use 250 there. That's good. Fuel. Oh, we need to set up our fuel, don't we? We need to set up fuel. So I'm just going to set up fuel from here. Our payload for today is 2,269 pounds. 2,269 pounds. Okay, that's fine. And our fuel weight is going to be, what is our fuel weight going to be? 3982. Okay, so let's put 3982. Enter that, please. There you go. Done. We'll apply those changes there. Okay, explain is, I don't know what explain is doing right now. Oh, there we go. Done. Brilliant. Okay, that's done. Unable 6,000 at D. Okay, whatever. I don't really care about that. So that is done. Let's confirm that. Perfect. We got that all good. Okay. So let's go to our takeoff data now. Okay. All right. Wind and temperature and all that stuff. That's automatically done for us. Flaps 5 today for takeoff. Okay, that's fine. I don't really mind flaps 5 in takeoff today. So we'll confirm that. V speeds are right here. Okay. I actually don't know what VAENR is. Okay, climb speed. This is our climb speed, 270, that's fine. Cruise, 25,000. Descent, that's fine. Landing. Oh, we haven't picked our landing stuff, huh? We need to do that. We will in just a second. Okay, 124, 119. Great. Let's go to performance. Let's go to nav arrival. So let's pick our arrival here in advance. Gonna do this in advance. Okie dokie. Runway. We're going to be taking off from runway, I completely forgot which runway, landing into runway 27R. 27R into Paris, right there. ILS, please, thank you very much. Kova, hello there, Kova. How you doing, man? How you doing? What specs? Are you asking about the PC? Are you asking me the specs of the PC? If you are, just put exclamation specs. Type in exclamation specs into the chat and you shall get that information. Exclamation specs. All right. Okay. What are we looking at? We're looking at the approach into LFPG. That is going to be B burn 9. Where on earth is that one? Oh, we don't even have it. We don't even... Let's go to stars here. There we go. Beaver 9 there. Okay, this is how I want it. This is exactly how I want it. I'm going to activate that too. If I come to my flight plan... If I come to my flight plan there, we're going to have... Okay, let's clear that. You know what? We don't need to clear the discontinuity. We can just do that. What else do we have? Any other discontinuity? No, sir. Everything else is looking brilliant. Okay, great. So that's pretty much it for our data here. We can come in here and tune the ILS into Paris. That is PNW. That is PNW right here. 110.35. Check. We are done with that. Perfect. Let's go to flight plan here. Progress here. Top of descent in about 120 something nautical miles. That's fantastic, and we're done with that. Okay, so I really need to find a way to bring down my resolution down to 2K because I don't like playing this in 4K. I don't get the best frame rates. It's fine, but I just don't... I mean, it's also because of the airport scenery that I have installed, but still. I want something a little better. Ooh, our scenery just took a hit there. I was coming up a little better there, but all of a sudden it loads a bit funny, this scenery. I'm not exactly a fan of it. So yeah, anyhow, let's continue on our journey here. We're done with all of that. We're pretty much ready to start up our engines and get on out of here, ladies and gentlemen. And we don't need to wait for that, do we? No, sir, we don't. So let's, without further delay, let's just get ourselves out of here. Do we need to do anything else? No, I can't meddle with the TCAS for some reason. That's fine. Let me just get ourselves up and out of here, okay? So, engine start. Let's go. Right engine first. N2 rising. We're going to wait for about 20% here before we click open our throttle. There you go, somewhere there. And that's fine. There we go. Ooh, we got our doors open here. We should have closed that up. Anyway, let's do that. We should have closed our doors. That's okay. Better late than never. Okay, that engine has a good start right there. Let's do the same on the other side now. Let's do the same on the other side. There we go. Oh, we can wait for that. Okay, that is good enough. We can put that right there. There we go. Brilliant. Quite easy there. Let's get rid of those two. We can actually drop our flaps now for takeoff. We said today it's position number 5. So that's what we're using for takeoff today. Nav data, whatever. There we go. Those flaps drop there, and we need to set our trim. So let's go ahead and do that. Right here, we need to set up our trim. Let's do that. We'll put it at around 4. There you go. It's good enough for takeoff. That is good enough for takeoff. I really don't like this scenery. It eats up too much of my frame rate. I need to switch down to 2K. I need to find a way to do that. Anyway, whatever. Everything else here is in order. Yes, it is, sir. Yep. I think we're good. We can get rid of the auxiliary pump. We don't need that. We don't need our APU anymore either. So let's shut that down. Let's bring that to off. Let's bring that to off as well. Let's turn on the packs here. There we go. Nice and easy. We know it's shutting down, so we can turn that off as well. Get rid of that. Okay, the only thing we need to do is the pyrostatic heats and the windshield heaters there. We'll do that as we line up, just so we don't cook the pitot tubes. Parking brake is still on, and that's about it. We're pretty much ready to get on out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Ready to get on out of here. Now, before we do, let me just press that button there. Get us ready for takeoff. I'm going to actually switch on nav mode in advance here as well. VNav 2, why not? Although it's very weird, we'll still do what we can, eh? Still do what we can. Let's reduce the range on that to 2.5 for takeoff. Let's reduce the range on that down to 5 for takeoff. That is good enough. Let's press nav there. No, sorry, FMS right there. So we've got LNAV and takeoff mode, and everything here is looking good for us to taxi. So without further delay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and taxi out on. Taxi light on, please. Every other light is in position, and we're ready. Let's go. Let us go. Release parking brake. Hold on a second. Which way am I supposed to? Okay, fine. We'll find out. Parking brake released. There we go. We're already rolling here. Let's turn our aircraft sharply off to the left. Okay. There we go. Very nice, this thing, isn't it? Very, very nice. I must say, it looks good though, the scenery. Oh, are we gonna touch that? We're gonna touch that? No. Oh, we sliced through that. Oh no. Anyway, whatever. Whatever, man. Let's get on out of here. Let's get on out of here. Let's get on out of here. Make a turn there. I really like what XP Realistic is doing with the camera. I find it so cool. I really do love X-Plane, I gotta say. I love X-Plane. Anyway, moving on. Just gonna take a right here, and we'll head on towards our takeoff runway. It's a beautiful day here. Cloudy but beautiful day here in London. Let's see how things hold up as we come into Paris. I don't expect much change here, and lovely DHL signs. Beautiful, look at that. Look at how lovely that looks, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look from outside. Okay, that got really loud really quickly there. Ooh, don't deviate now. The flaps 5 takeoff. I usually take off with flaps 15, so let's see how this goes. This particular aircraft it's pretty fun to fly though, I must say. It is a pretty fun aircraft to fly. Anyway, whatever. There's a British Airways terminal kind of thing there. I've been thinking, should I get the 727? I've been considering buying the 727 by Flight Sim Studio for Microsoft Flight Sim. So if that's something that you guys are interested in seeing, please do let me know in the comments below, or in the chat really. Do you think I should get the FSS 727 freighter for Microsoft Flight Sim? Anyway, jumping back in here, let's try and stick to our taxiway kind of, shall we? Okay. The ground handling is so much better for this aircraft in X-Plane. That is something that I have to note right off the bat, and I really like these floodlights here as well. Really, really cool. Very, very cool floodlights. It does feel more realistic in X-Plane, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, and in terms of what's modeled and what's not, the paid version from Flight FX in Microsoft Flight Sim has about the same amount of working features as the one in X-Plane does. So I don't see much of a difference in that area. If anything, I would say that the flight model just feels better in X-Plane 12, obviously, because in general the sim has a better flight sim model, physics model in general, so that benefits a lot to the aircraft as well. The only other thing is that the textures, obviously the textures are so much better in the Flight Effects version by Microsoft for Microsoft Flight Sim. That's the only other thing I would say. That's the only real advantage it has over even the default Citation X. I mean, for a default aircraft, it's fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. So far with my flying experience, that's how it's been. And just like the Flight FX one, I think it's something with the aircraft. It's funny. Like the VNAV and the flight level change and all of that, it's a little bit funky. You know, it's not exactly as straightforward as it seems. So it behaves very similar in both Microsoft Flight Sim and X-Plane 12. So I think that's something more with the aircraft than with what's modeled. But yeah, that's a lovely looking aircraft there. Yeah. Okay. Runway 27 right. It should be all the way. We need to make a crossing here. We need to make a crossing and we gotta go all the way to the other side of the airport. It's a long taxi here. It's a long taxi there. Yep, this is 27 left and we're gonna have to cross it here. I'm afraid we're gonna have to cross it here, ladies and gentlemen. So let's do just that, yeah? Runway ahead. Okay, I know it's clear, so there should be no one on the runway. I know it is, but just for the sake of formality, we're gonna look on either side. Okay, so we gotta cross this runway and we're gonna continue our taxi to reach 27 right, which is somewhere over there. So we do have some way to go here, huh? That's okay. That's okay. Can get used to handling this on the ground. That should help. There we go. Beautiful. Is the nav bar displaying all the details correctly? Yes, they are. Yes, they are being displayed correctly. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Okay, sounds good. That's a lot of Lufthansa aircrafts. That's a lot of Lufthansa aircrafts right there. What are they again? A380s? So many Lufthansa A380s, huh? Let me just open up the throttle here a little bit. They look good. That looks fancy. Okay, we'll take a right turn here to get us to the runway there. Very cool. All right, let's make a right turn on this taxiway right here. Pump the brakes a little bit. And let's make that turn. Oh, where on earth are we going to end up? I should have taken the other turning, huh? I should have taken that turn. Alright, whatever. Whatever, we'll find a way out. We'll find a way out. We'll make a turn right here, not a problem, and then we'll head on towards our takeoff runway of 27 right. It's a long taxi. It's a long taxi. There weren't many suitable parkings, according to X-Plane anyway, near our takeoff runway for the day, so yeah. I think we should yeah, we'll I know what we can make a turn there. Make a turn there. British Airways. Okay, let's make a turn here. Let's see where that takes us. Where is that gonna take us, sir? Runway 27, that is exactly where we wanna go. That is exactly where we're gonna go. Runway ahead, runway 27, right, perfect. We don't need the whole runway today at all, so just gonna pump the brakes. Just going to pump the brakes here. There we go. Head back in here. And I'm going to park ourselves for a bit. Taxi lights can come off, that can go on. We can turn on our strobe lights here. And pitot heats and windshield heats, and we are ready to go. Just like that, we are ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's release that parking brake and open up that throttle. Obviously, this aircraft, the default one by Laminar, does not have the option to enable an auto throttle module that will usually come here on the flight effects version, so that's something. But it's more fun flying it without auto throttle, you know, gives us something to do. So here we go, we're ready for takeoff, and all clear on the ECAS there, and let's go ahead and throttle up. Takeoff power set. Ooh, I'm having a bit of trouble holding the center line here with the aircraft for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Okay, there we go, let's pull back on that. Oh, come on, leave the ground. Okay. Positive rate, gear up. There we go. We're up and out of here. Let me get back in here. Okay, good. Good. Hand flying this at the moment. Looking good as we get on out of okay, I need to get back in here and focus on flying the aircraft. Alright, good. Let me bring down our power to about 80 something percent, which is what I like for it to be. Our altitude is set at 5,000. I don't know why it's set at 5,000. But yeah, okay, I'm just gonna give it a gentle tap there. Gonna cut down on the throttle a little bit. There we go. Just gonna give it off to the autopilot because there is something I need to do, which is to set the altitude, something I forgot to do really. So I need to give it off to the autopilot for the time being. Let me do that right now. Okay, there we go. Giving it off to the autopilot. Do you use auto ortho? Yes, I do, mate. I use auto ortho. I definitely do. Oh, we are being descended very violently by the autopilot to keep 5,000 feet, I suppose. But yeah, I'll push up the flaps and everything. Give it a bit of power there. I need to change my altitude. I need to change my altitude up to 25,000 feet. Come on. 25,000 feet, come on. Okay. I do use auto ortho. Come on. Give me 25. Okay, that's fine. There we go. We got 25 there. Let's see what it does. That VNAV selected here. It doesn't really seem to be doing much at the moment, and the aircraft is wobbling a lot, which is expected. It does this in X-Plane 12 with the Citation, and I think it's pretty realistic though. It is pretty realistic. Just so we can have a good look at it. We're maintaining 5,000 at the moment, which is not what I want. Not what I want at all. I'm going to give it a bit more throttle here. Hopefully that gets it climbing. We do have an altitude restriction somewhere there though. We do have... It's not even a restriction, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, come on. Climb, mate. You're not going to climb. Let me just request flight level change and that should get it climbing. What? Yep, that should get it climbing right there. Let's put it at... There we go. Perfect. Now let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. I don't understand what this aircraft is doing in terms of V speeds here. I have no idea why it's refusing to climb above 5,000 here. I have no idea. I have no idea. We've set 25,000, but yeah, it has completely refused. Let me give it a bit more throttle, see if it climbs up any higher. Okay, it's climbing now. Okay, fine. That's good. There we go. Now it's climbing. That is much better. Yes, and we're maintaining 250 nicely. There we go. That is looking good, and we're climbing out. Let's increase the range on that guy. 5,000 feet. I'm going to set it to standard here. We'll leave it like that there. Passenger signs can remain on. Taxi lights are off. Landing lights can remain on for a bit longer. There we go. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. That is very loud outside, isn't it? That is really, really loud. Looking good. Looking good. Okay. Let's take a look at it from the other side there. Just close that up. That looks great. The scenery down there looks so good, huh? Let's take a look at this view right here. That is something there. That is something right there. (9,000 feet) and we are going up nice and easy. Going up nice and easy. As soon as I turn off the landing lights, we can take a couple more views. Perhaps some flybys and stuff like that. We'll take a look at that. But clearly, it is very noisy on the outside, huh? Very, very, very noisy on the outside. Beautiful, but noisy. That might be one of the most beautiful scenes that I've ever seen. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Okay, I gotta get back in there. We gotta get back in there. All right, landing lights off, please. Passenger signs to off. And we're carrying on at 270. We might want to give it a bit more of throttle there. Maybe around 80. Yeah, that's fine. Just so we climb a little steeper there towards our cruising altitude. Yeah, we're going steep now. And I'll cut back the throttle just a little bit. Yeah, I need to cut back the throttle down. There we go. Let's continue on that climb right there. It's a very steep climb, but we'll continue climbing that way. Great. Oh, look at that. We've got some... oh, that is so beautiful. Nice. Gotta jump back in the cockpit. 17,000 feet. We don't have long to go at all here, so we need to be at this altitude really quickly here. We open up the throttles a little bit more. We do not have long for topper descent, ladies and gentlemen. It's right about 70 something. Let's have a look actually. Where is topper descent? Look at that. It's literally 70 something nautical miles away from us. And that's about it. There's topper descent flickering on and off there. Because our rate of climb, I believe, is not exactly... Yeah, so 70 something nautical miles to that. That's not long at all. We're not going to make top of climb there. That is false. That is false information. That is false information, sir. Okay, apart from that, this aircraft looking good. It's the sensitivity is a little too much, so I'm gonna have to change that on my throttle settings, but I can't be bothered. Yeah, there we go, making that lovely turn. Beautiful. Gorgeous stuff, huh? Look at the way how the I love this effect in XP Realistic, the head movement and stuff. It's very cool. Very, very cool. It can be a little annoying. I probably need to tone it down slightly, more, because it can be a little difficult if you're hand flying it. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Maybe I'll reduce it a little bit, but it's a really cool effect. Okay, let's go back into the cabin, see what's going on there. Clouds are getting better in X-Plane 12, but still there's some sort of 2D flat effect that we have here, which I'm not a big fan of. So they're getting better. The clouds are getting better. I do have Visual XP. I've turned it off for today's stream. I will fly with Visual XP in the upcoming streams, just so we get the clouds to look a little better than this. Visual XP helps with that. But today I have it turned off. So yeah. Alrighty, we're coming up on 25,000 feet. We're already less than 50 nautical miles, more or less. Yeah, around 50 nautical miles towards our top of descent. So not long to go here. Not long to go here at all. On our way to Hardy already. What? That's crazy. Okay, well, there's the altitude horn. Let me have a look here. Okay. Yeah, there we go. We don't have long to go. No, sir, we do not. Okay. 25,000 feet coming up. Our speed should increase. There we go. Towards 300 is the recommended speed. Obviously, there's no auto throttle. This is just our FMS guiding us as to what speed we should target. There we go. We'll allow the speed to climb there towards 300. I usually find 85% N1 usually gets us that. So, yeah, I'm gonna allow the speed to climb to 300 here. And our top of descent will come up very, very shortly. Lovely. Kova FNR, how do you usually fly? Do you use auto or are you an X-Plane guy or an MSFS guy? What do you like to do in the world of flight simming? Lovely. What a gorgeous aircraft. This is a beautiful jet though. It is a very, very beautiful jet. Lovely. Just a small, beautiful jet. It's pretty cool. Well, let's have a look at the speed before I get... we're a little bit on the high side there. Let me try and put that N1 down to 85%. It's not really helping with the speed at the moment. We're still climbing, so I'm just gonna cut that throttle just a little bit more. Let's try 80% more like, huh? Should help our speed to decrease there. Okay, we're making a turn. Nice. Ooh, we can see some boats off to our right there. That's pretty cool. We're 10 knots above what is recommended at the moment by our flight management system there. However, our speed is slipping away slightly, so we're okay. I'm not going to adjust that N1 percentage. I'm going to leave it at 81 the way how it is. Top of descent coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Top of descent coming up. What is our final altitude? Let me have a look at our final altitude that we need to descend to. And the reason for that is... 5,000. Okay. Yep, and the reason why we're descending down to 5,000 is just so we can catch the ILS if it works. The last time I tried this, it didn't really work. So let's see, 5,000 feet, huh? Let's we'll input that in just a bit. As a matter of fact, you can go ahead and have that input right away. 5,000 feet. Let's do that. 0, 6, and 5. Okay. There we go. There we go. So since VNAV is enabled, we should automatically begin our descent at top of descent. Lovely rain streaks going across. That is something I really am looking forward to being implemented in Microsoft Flight Sim. Don't know if there's an add-on that does that. I need to have a look at that, but it looks beautiful. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, let's have some flyby views. We haven't had those. We haven't had those. Gorgeous. Let's have another look at that. There we go, from the deck of an aircraft carrier there. Pretty cool, huh? I always find these carriers so cool. Anyway, where are we? I don't know where we are. Don't know where we are. Okay. Where are we? Can we find ourselves? Oh, there we are. There we are, ladies and gentlemen, flying away. That's a camera that doesn't change with the aircraft, and here's a camera that tilts with the aircraft. Both pretty cool in my opinion. Oh wait, good lord. We've probably begun our descent. Oh, there we go. We're coming close to our descent here, and I need to cut down on my speed. I'll go down towards 50% N1. So we can begin our descent here. We need to get on down, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we've already begun our descent. Great. We just need to cut our speed down to 270. So let's do that. Once we reach 270, we'll put a little bit of pressure there. There we go. Okay, we seem to be doing okay for the time being. We're supposed to be flying on towards Koliv. We're supposed to be above 10,000 feet, and that is in about 42 nautical miles. We've got plenty of time, so yeah, we're okay. We are okay. 1,100, yeah, we're fine. Everything seems to be in order. Very nice. Okay, maybe a little bit more open on the throttle there. Yeah, that'll do. I'm going to open up the throttle just a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that is good. Okay, towards Koliv, distance of 40, just in 5 minutes, about 5 minutes we'll be there. Okay, we head on towards cabin, have a look at our descent here, looking good as we come over, no, not exactly Paris, but as we fly over France. Looking good. Looking good. That is a gorgeous aircraft. There is no denying that that is beauty. Look at how gorgeous that is, man. Look at it. Just look at it. Come on. Look at it. Look at it. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. All right. Very cool. Now, if we come back in here for a second, our speed is getting away from us. Let me cut that. Well, it's not too bad though. It's not too bad. We've got some time towards... Okay, we should probably... Yeah, we should do that. We should do that. We'll do it like this. Okay, 25 nautical miles away. We should be above 10,000 feet, which we are easily going to be, so it's fine. Altitude restriction there, cutting down the throttle there. Yeah, we're alright. Don't see much of a problem. We're alright. Very cool. Very, very cool. Oh. I always enjoy attention to details like this. Attention to detail like that, but anyway. What else can we do here as we prepare for our landing? We've got all the approach, the frequencies and all of that done already. Enable, we don't need to worry about that. Yeah, that's all fine, mate. But yeah, so we've got everything that we need for landing pretty much set up. If we want to, we can come into little nav map here and take a quick look at how we're going to do this. So there we go. Show you guys a little nav map for a second. So we're already on the arrival procedure, or rather the arrival procedure. Then we're going to continue for 50 nautical miles towards Gizok, or Gizok, however you want to pronounce that. I'll go with Gizok. And that is our ILS approach into runway 27 right into Paris. So that's what it looks like at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. If you're wondering what that is over here, that is what we're looking at. Look at that. Right, that is what we're looking at. So yeah, pretty simple, straightforward stuff, and we'll be there in no time. We'll be there in no time. Okay, there we go. Let me just close that up for us, because we don't need it. There we go. Close that up, and let's see how it's going here. Just 12 nautical miles towards Koliv. I really hope it keeps the altitude restriction, the constraint that we have here of 10,000 feet bottom ceiling. So we need to be above 10,000 feet when we come in there. I really hope the flight management system automatically takes care of that. So I'm going to give it a little bit more power there just to help it do that, hopefully. Let's see how it goes. Beautiful scene there. Lovely. You can see things in the distance. I don't know what those artifacting is in the distance, but you know, that's okay. It's okay. We're gonna turn there. Gotta go in and monitor that. I will as soon as we stop enjoying this little lovely scene here. I'm going and take a look at our progress. Looking good here. Alrighty, jumping back into the cockpit here, we've got 4.8 nautical miles towards Mopar. What is the altitude at Mopar? 8,000 above. Okay, that is fine. We'll be all right. 250. Okay, so let me just cut our throttles down there to 50%. That should help us reach 250 right about. Oh, my throttle is. It's not easy to get fine control with my throttle, but I shall try. I can just use this. I can just use this here, and that will be much better. There we go. That is more like what I want. Okay. Alrighty, let's see what's going on. Okay, we got an altitude restriction at 5,000 feet now. We're going down towards Gizok, but that is 42 nautical miles away. We got some time to kill here. We're making that final 50 nautical miles that I was talking about. So we have successfully completed our arrival procedure, and we're heading on towards our ILS approach to runway 27, right? Is that correct? I think so. Yep, 27 right. Final fix 27 right, and we got runway 27. Okay. Looking good. Everything is looking fantastic. Speed is supposed to go down towards 190, but I'm going to maintain it at roughly about 219, 220 here. We could go down with our flaps. We could, you know what? I'll put down the slats. There we go, slats down there. Let's have a look. Oh, we can't really see the slats, huh? We'll have a look when we are looking at the flaps, probably. Yeah. Anyway, got the slats down there. We're slowly descending. You know what? I'll just cut the throttle. I'll cut the throttle so we can descend a little quicker. How about that? We've still got a long way to go, though. Still got a long way to go. Anyway, all of this is looking great. That is looking fantastic. Yes, it is. Okay, we could go down with the flaps to position 5 there. Can't really see the flaps being deployed, can we? Not really. We'll take a look later on as we drop the flaps. But our aircraft is looking gorgeous. Alright, there is the runway right there, so we should be able to see in the distance the airport. Should be somewhere there. It should be somewhere there. We're coming into Paris anyway. Should be able to see some buildings and stuff. I'm gonna pump up that N1 for us a little bit, so we can stay slightly above 190 if possible. We'll give it a little bit more there. a little bit more there. There we go, that's good. Okay. I'm gonna wait before I go towards flaps 15. I'm gonna give it a bit more time before I do that. Just cut the throttle slightly, just ever so slightly, just a touch. That's all. Cool. So far flying this, if I were to compare this to Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, I'll have to say that, well, I don't know. I think in terms of textures, obviously the Flight FX Cessna Citation is much better. It's still worth it though. I still recommend it for Microsoft Flight Sim users, but I have to say, for a default airplane, this Citation X in X-Plane is absolutely beautiful. Right? For a default aircraft, it's just gorgeous. It is gorgeous. It flies really well. Yeah, you need to tune your controls a little bit, but flies really well. It's enjoyable. It's very nice. It's beautiful. And for a default aircraft, I must say it is good. It's definitely good. So yeah, I have to give it to X-Plane in this. I mean, yeah, because it is, in terms of flying experience, it offers a similar or even slightly better, arguably, than the Flight FX one. So that is saying something. That is saying something. Just gorgeous. Beautiful, huh? Goodness me, that's some good stuff. Okay. I really ought to go in and check on what's going on in the cockpit at the moment. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that before I get carried away with the views here. Okay, coming back into the cockpit here. Oh, well, we're pretty much... yeah, we're still just continuing on our way here. Yeah, just chugging along here, nothing else. Still got about 20 nautical miles towards Gizok, so I guess we could waste some more time with some cinematic views here. Man, that's utterly beautiful. That is just beautiful stuff. Look at that. There's a view. There is a view. Look at that. Okay. Let's head back into the cockpit now. We got about 13 nautical miles to Gizok, and we are just crawling along on our descent here down to 5,000 feet, of which we got plenty of time to do. Our speed is just a couple of knots, 5 or 6 knots above where we should be ideally. That's not a problem. Slightly faster is okay. This aircraft slows down quickly enough. And we're within 1,000 feet of 5,000 with that altitude horn right there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, very, very nice. Very, very nice. Landing this aircraft is not an easy feat. It is not an easy feat. Okay, it is not an easy feat. We can take a look at our systems here. Just have a quick look. Okay, tank temperatures on the fuel, engine temperatures, I don't know what that means exactly, but for the fuel I guess, that's fine. Hydraulics look good, electric looks good there. Control positions, they're all in the neutral position. I guess we're just using the stabilizer there pretty much, that is cool. Engines, we go back to normal stuff, that is this. Nothing else to look at really. Nothing else to look at. I don't know what this does, but yep, very cool. Alright, let's take a look at that. Excuse me. Can zoom out on that a little bit. It's gonna have a bit of an issue there. It's going to go a little outside of our ideal track and then come back in. Obviously that turn is almost a U-turn. Hairpin right there, almost a U-turn. So, oh god, I didn't mean to move that. Anyway, just gonna close that up. Let's come down on the range on these ones. Why are we so... There we go. That's much better. It's much better. Landing lights on, please. QNH, we need to move it from standard to whatever the local pressure is. Let me have a look at what the local pressure is at the moment. In Paris, it is 1021 HPA. So let's go ahead and set that in the barometric pressure, 1021 HPA right there. And that's set. Brilliant. TCAS remains off because I have no idea how to turn on the TCAS on this thing. I don't even know if you can. Looking good. Looking good. Flaps down there. Still waiting before we put flaps 15. You know what? I don't know what we're waiting for. We could do flaps 15, right? Yeah, I'll leave the throttle there and let's do flaps 15. Let's do flaps 15. I need to increase the throttle. Yes, we do. Speed doesn't go away from us too much there. We're about to make a very tight turn as well. And we need to turn on our approach mode. As soon as we make that turn, we need to turn on the approach mode if we want any hope of catching the glide slope. Okay, there we go. We'll switch it to nav mode here and we'll switch that. Let's see how that goes. We are very slow though, so we should be able to make this turn fairly quickly. Looking good though. Looking very good. Looking very good. Let's have a look here. Look at that. As we turn off the fields outside of Paris. Looking pretty decent. Okay. Get back in the cockpit there. Go right here. Brilliant. Brilliant. Let me go towards nav source as that and let me turn on our approach mode there as well. Okay, localizer glide slope caught this time. So it is working this time. Fantastic. Now we need to drop our speed. We seriously need to drop our speed now. Okay, so that we can get ready for landing here. Oh, it's not yet caught. Let's see. Let's see if it actually catches the glide slope and the localizer. Sorry, my bad. Let's see. Okay, that's fine. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's fine. Go, let's drop our speed off, bleeding it nicely there. There we go. I have visuals of the runway up ahead of us. Runway is right here. 27 right is right there. That is looking good. Fantastic. Before we go any further, we gotta drop our gear, so we'll do that. Let's come here and drop the gear. Take a look at our gear dropping. Shall we do that? Let's take a look at that. Gear, please. Beautiful. Lovely. Get a bit more of throttle there. Let's drop our flaps as well. Okay, there we go. And we'll go down there. Looking good. We are set up for landing, ladies and gentlemen, pretty much. Look at how beautiful we look. Okay. We need to open up our throttles there because we're having trouble maintaining our correct speed there. Come on. There we go. I'm going to start off with about 50%. As soon as the glide slope gets caught, we'll be okay. So I wanna put it at 50. Okay, there we go. That's much better. Come on. There we go. A little lower than I would like. We need 5 knots more. So I'm gonna open that up just a little bit more. There we go. That's enough. I'm gonna turn on my landing light. Taxi light in advance. We should have turned on our passenger safety, whatever stuff, as we dipped below 10,000, but we didn't do that. That's okay. We'll turn on our APU after we touch down. Everything else is looking good for landing, huh? Yes, we are. Looking pretty much ready for landing. There we go. Probably need to take control a little bit early. Yeah, we might. Anyway. Nonetheless, let's take a look at that. There we go. Paris, Charles de Gaulle ahead of us. Okay. Yeah, we're looking okay. Just have to stay on top of the speed here. But apart from that, this time my localizer glide slope stuff is working, which is good. Which is good. It's not too terrible. Not too terrible as we come in. Let me try and there's a slow flyby right there. Yeah, I really should be in the cockpit right now making sure that things are going well. Yeah, we're too close for me to mess around now, so let me just jump in. 130, I'm a little fast, but that's okay. Little fast. I'm gonna pull back on that throttle a little bit. Maybe a little bit more there. There we go. More towards 50% is what I need. This is my N1. There we go. Looking good. Our glide slope is working perfectly. Localizer is working perfectly. I don't think we have very strong winds here today. Just a 5 knot headwind and a 3 knot crosswind component. Nothing too major. Coming up, we should have taken control now. It's 1,000 feet. Let's take control. There you go, my aircraft. My aircraft. Ooh, that is sensitive. That is sensitive. Okay. 500. No problem. We'll try and land it. Try and land it. 400. Just the way it is. Okay.
300.
300. Okay, let me get that lined up.
200.
Okay.
Light slow. 100. Light slow. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay. There we go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Paris. Welcome to Paris. Oh, that is sensitive controls right there. Gotta bring my flaps up. I'm gonna do that. Oh, come on. Let's turn off here, shall we? Begin our turn off here. Let me just get the APU running. There we go. And I shall get our that off. Good. We should get pitot heats off there. That can come off as well. Looking good. Let's get that up and running. Good. We can bring that down. Anything else? No, sir. That is pretty much it. Turn that off. Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Paris. Welcome to Paris. Okay. Okay, we need to cross the runway here. That's okay. I'm just gonna carry on here. Yeah, let's see how this went. We'll take a look at the landing replay, obviously. Gonna have that in just a bit. As soon as we find ourselves a little parking somewhere, we can turn off to our right. Okay, so we're gonna go off to our right here, and let's find ourselves a parking. Shall I do that? Come on. There we go. Let's turn to our right, and we'll find ourselves a parking. Okay. All right, that was really cool. Stick around for the landing replay, which is coming about in just a bit. I just gotta find ourselves a parking, and we'll get ourselves in there somewhere. I think we're headed towards a cargo terminal. Oh, Lord. Oh, we're headed towards a cargo terminal. We need to find ourselves somewhere else. Okay, we are very far away from anywhere we want to be. We're very far away. I think we're just gonna put ourselves in the cargo terminal because we're too far. We are too far from anything else. Yeah, pretty much. We're very far away from anything else. What can I do here? What should I do here? I could take a left turn and backtrack. You know what? Let's do that. Let me just do that. Let me just take a left turn here and backtrack without being lazy here. So let me just take this left turn, and we'll pretty much go back and find ourselves in a more appropriate parking on the cargo ramps. So let's just go ahead and take that U-turn there. There we go. There we go. That's much better. There we go. Okay. So we'll pass the main circular terminal area of Charles de Gaulle, which looks beautiful, which looks absolutely stunning. Now we just need a right-hand turn, which will come up straight ahead somewhere there. We can go. We can also no. We don't want to use that. We want to use another one there. There you go. Looking good. Looking good. So I hope you guys enjoyed that flight. Stick around for the landing replay because that is coming. We need to take a good look at our landing replay. See what we did there. I have a feeling my nose wheel was floating in the air there for way too long, and I should have made that turn right there, shouldn't I have? It's not too late. It's not too late. Let's just make that turn. There we go. This one right here. I think I should make it. What? Should I make it? I have no idea. Let's find out. You know what? Whatever. Let's find out. Let us find out, shall we? Open up that throttle a little bit. There we go. Technically, we're not supposed to do that, I guess. I'm a little confused at the moment, but I need to turn this way. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that, but you know, whatever. Whatever. Yeah, we'll just continue here anyway. It doesn't matter. It's the wrong way on the taxiway, but you know. We'll continue this way and then we'll turn. Okay? Shouldn't have made that turning, but yeah. We'll turn right here. And as we continue on, that should take us somewhere where we can actually park. Yeah, I think somewhere here we will be able to find a parking if we, yeah. Oh, I think I have an idea. I have an idea of where to go. So let's just do that quickly. As quick as this thing can taxi. Alrighty, that wasn't too bad. I must say that was an enjoyable flight, huh? That was fun. Again, X-Plane. It's very difficult not to enjoy X-Plane. It's just, I mean, if you're a hardcore flight simmer, X-Plane is the way to go. I understand if you're a more general aviation enthusiast, not exactly hardcore into flight simming, maybe Microsoft Flight Sim, but I think it's just my opinion that X-Plane is just better for hardcore flight simmers. It just makes sense. And I'm not even that, I don't really consider myself that hardcore of a flight simmer. I kind of am, but still. Even then, I still prefer X-Plane 12. It's hard to hate it, man. It really is. It's very hard to hate it. It is very hard to hate this thing. Okay, so we're just literally taking a trip around here. I don't know for what. We could park at any one of these places, shouldn't we? Why don't we just park here, man? Nah, we should just continue. Okay, fine. I shall just continue here. We'll get away from the commercial traffic, right? We'll get away from the commercial traffic and we'll find ourselves somewhere more appropriate. Some of these aircraft models don't look good. They look a bit questionable, to say the least. Okay, we should make a right turn. The next right turn that's coming up, we'll take it, and we'll find ourselves a parking. We've been taxiing forever, so I need to. This landing replay is going to be long, huh? To get ourselves back up all the way in the air. Yeah, landed into a very far away place at the airport there. It's not too bad, not too bad. Coming up, turn coming up. Turn coming up, and we need to make that turn. That should get us towards a couple of places where we could probably park ourselves. Hopefully, they're appropriate parkings. Even if they're not, we don't have a choice. I'm not running around the airport trying to find an appropriate parking, so just make that turning. Let's make that turning. There we go. This airport is huge. It is massive. It's got two sections that are very far away from each other. That's the problem. That is the problem. It's got two sections that are quite separated from each other. So if you land on the other side, good luck to you. You know what I mean? But anyway, we'll be there in no time. We'll be there in no time. Okay, we don't take this turn. We need to take a couple of turns. We need to take the second turn coming up, not this one. Still lovely though. Still lovely. Okay, we are drifting off to the side there. Okay, we should have taken this turn. Oh, I mean, it's not too late, so let's go ahead and... Oh, good lord, I've turned in the wrong place again. It's okay, we've got an out here. We can just go forward using this one, and then we can turn in, and we'll find ourselves hopefully in a place where we can see other private jets. I'm not so sure. Don't think we have luck in that department. I think we don't have luck in that department. We'll continue on here though. And again, we're taxiing the wrong way here. Taxiing the wrong way, yep, because I made a wrong turn. I shouldn't be on this taxiway, but nonetheless. I'm just gonna take a turn here and I'm gonna park myself somewhere here. Going to park myself somewhere here. There we go. There we go. I'll just park myself somewhere nearby and then I shall play the landing replay. Yeah, we've been taxiing for way too long. Way too long. I'm just gonna put myself right there. That's about it. That's about it, ladies and gentlemen. That's about it. Let me pump that brake there and I'm going to go in. I'm gonna go in right here. Okay. One other thing I like about X-Plane, it gives you suitable parkings for your aircraft at the appropriate airports. I really enjoy that. I should have just checked that, but anyway. Here we go. We'll just park ourselves in nice and slow and easy. Nice and slow and easy. There we go. Take a look from outside. Oh, look at that. We are perfectly in line. Look at that. Some good parking right there, huh? Okay, I'm gonna go back inside here. Going to pump the brakes there. Alrighty. Great. We've got APU running, which means we can shut down our engines, and let's do that. Before we go into the landing replays, I'm just gonna shut down the engines first. That's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Okay, let me go back in there and then we can turn those off. We can turn all of that off. We can... what else can we do? Flaps are up. All of that is stored and done. We can disarm that. We can switch that off, switch that off. We can put that in the off position there. We can put that off. We can put ignitions off if we wanted to. We can put that off pretty much. Anything else we're missing? We can put that off. Come on. Put that to off. We can put that to off. We can leave that off and we can put all of that off. There you go. Something here is still on though. Oh, the APU. My bad. Can shut down the APU. We should have done that, huh? There we go. It's pretty much gonna shut itself off anyway. There you go. Should have done that before, but nonetheless, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are done. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the landing replay and hopefully everything kicks back into life. Let's have a look. Alt-R there. We're in landing mode, replay mode. Okay, a little bit of a freeze there, a little bit of a freeze there. Come on, get over it. And there we go. Good. So we just have to rewind it a little bit. And once that's done, it's going to come back in and go for the replay. Okay, we'll have replay from a cinematic mode. How about that? Let's be a little fancy with our replay today. Okay, I'm going to use the slider here. Our taxi was ridiculously long today, so just going to use the slider there. Just using that slider there. Okay, we're back on the runway. There we go. Take a look at our landing replay from this view first. Right about... okay, there. That seems good enough. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at our landing replay first. From this view, and then move on to other views as well. Ooh, passed awfully close to that crane there. A little bit of a floater off to the left hand side, but nothing too terrible. And our nose wheel remained up for a long time there. But again, gentle touchdown with the nose wheel as well, so I'm not complaining too much there. Let's take a look at it from another point of view. Let's take a look at it from another point of view. There we go. Pause it right there. Let's take a look at it from this view right here. There we go. Not too terrible. Not too terrible. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. That's so beautiful, man. That is gorgeous. There we go. Let's see how the landing went. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay. Let's have another view. Flying in there. Oh man, that's good stuff. Let's have a look at that again. That is beautiful. Not the most perfect landing in the world, but I'll take it. I will take it, and that looks gorgeous, man. Damn, X-Plane is looking good. Anyway, let's have a few more replays here. Why not? Let's just enjoy a few more replays about there. Okay, let's try this one. Let's try this one. Yep. Let's take a look at that again, because that was gorgeous. That was gorgeous. One more time. One more time. Okay. One more. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at it from the passenger's point of view. Let's play that right there. There we go. All right, nice wing flex. Let's take a look at it from the other side. Then we shall get on out of here. Oh, yeah. There we go. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Beautiful. Okay. Very, very nice. Oh, you know what? Let's also have a landing replay from this view as well.
10,
See how that went. Okay. All right. Let's now go ahead and find ourselves where we left ourselves, huh? Okay, with that, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's flight. I hope you did. If you did, leave a like. Consider subscribing to the channel. Check out my other videos. Check out my other live streams and stuff. Leave some love. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed that. Lot more to come here. Lots more to come in my channel. So yeah, with that, I shall leave today's live stream exactly here with a view of our extra long taxi as we made our way through Charles de Gaulle here. But apart from that, I really hope you guys had a good time. I shall catch you in the next one. Thank you so much, Kova FNR, or Kovaf. What? Kova FNR. Kovaf NR, for tuning in to the chat. Sorry for butchering your name there, but thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for the interaction. I appreciate it. So yeah, see you guys in the next one, and take care and bye-bye.